Okay, I had a couple of you guys wondering about blues licks. And I'm just going to go over some basic blues licks, like blues scale. First of all, you want to get the blues scale under your fingertips. So the blues scale goes, we start on E, it's E, G, A, and now you got a chromatic line here. A sharp to B, D, E, G, A sharp, B, D. So let me go through really slow. So that's the 7th fret on the A string, 10th fret on the A string, 7th fret on the D string, 8th fret on the D string, 9th fret on the D string, 7th fret on the G string, 9th fret on the G string, 8th fret on the B string, 10th fret on the B string, 11th fret on the B string, and 7th fret on the high E string, and then you got the 10th fret. Now, one thing you can do with this scale to get bluesy licks is do like double stops. This scale exists in many different patterns of the neck. This is just one pattern we just went over. This one. One thing you might want to do is start trying to do this pattern in 4s. Jimmy Herring, when I was taking from Jimmy Herring, he used to always make us do like every scale and patterns of 4, so your fingers got used to it, used to the shapes. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So you start on the first note of the scale and go up 4 notes. And start on the second note of the scale and go up 4 notes. Start on the third note and go up 4 notes. And the fourth note and go up 4 notes. And it's just a pattern, so it goes. Oh, sorry. Haven't did these in a long time. But once you get them down, they should be easy to do, like convert to an arpeggio. So what I'm getting at is basically, if you get this scale under your fingers, you can start to learn some really cool licks. Your fingers will do what you want them to do. One of the things in like bluesy licks, I'm going to show you a couple out of this other pattern, but one thing you want to be able to do is to bend notes. Like when I started the video off, I did this lick. Alright, I'm bending from the 5th of, let's say we're in E7. Okay, so there's the chord. It's pretty bad. Excuse me. I'm just going to put an E bass note and loop that. Okay, now there's my E bass note. Now, if I'm playing over like E minor, by the way, if you get my books, all these chords are in the scales books and the arpeggio books. So when you get a scale pattern, like say, you'll get this, all these patterns and many other scales, you also get a chord with a pattern. Like so, with this pattern, you'll get this chord. It's outlined in blue, so it's really easy to learn. So you'll get that. There's the scale, and there's the chord. So you get the chord with the scale, because it's really important when you're soloing to see the chord. You got to be able to see the form of the chord to know what notes to land on, and notes. Like if I'm soloing over that chord, those notes are the notes in the chord. Now I might not land on all of them, but in the beginning, when you first start soloing, you need to learn how to land on those notes. Like you might go. Now I'm landing on the root there, the chord, but I might land on, say, I might land on the fifth. That's the fifth chord. My intervals book will show you like that stuff too. I'm not here really to sell my books. I'm just telling you they're really thorough and they will help you to understand this stuff. But let's go to like a couple licks. Like one of the licks I do quite often. I do a lot of double stops, and this is a really basic one. I've showed a lot of my students this. It's a fifth interval. If you play an A to an E, that's a fifth interval. Now we're going to play those two notes together. And when you play them together, it's called like a double stop. When you play only two notes, but if you add three notes, you end up getting chords. But this is just a double stop because it's two notes being played together. So we're playing the 10th fret on the B string with my first finger, and I'm using my pinky for the 12th fret on the first string. I'm raking across those two strings. Alright, now what I'm going to do, the blues scale goes like this. And then, like I said, if you learn this, I showed you this pattern, which is a really common pattern. But this pattern goes, it's the same notes, just in a different pattern. So slowly it'd be like. I know that's not that slow, but we don't have much time on the video, so I'm just going to go over the lick and then we'll go over some more stuff later. But this lick's going to go like this. Like I said, you get the two notes, hammer on to the flat 5 of the scale. And if you don't understand what I'm saying about flat 5 or the third or whatever, just don't worry about it for now. Later on, you want to get the intervals book. It explains all of that. And that's why I wrote that book, is because from taking lessons from Jimmy Herring and other people like that, you know, they spoke in those terms, and Jimmy's a good friend of mine, and just came over here and recorded some songs of his, and you just learn to talk those terms, because those are the terms that musicians speak when they're talking about, at least about chord tones, and if you're jamming with some really good jazz musicians, they're going to be speaking in those terms. So you learn what the fifth is, and the third. Chords are built from 1, 3, 5. But here's the lick. So you're going to hammer on to the flat 5. So that's going to be break across the two notes, hammer on. Let me just play the lick real quick. So you got. So you got like almost two licks, but we'll see. I'm just trying to go through some basically. Alright, so you're going to hammer on. That sounds really bad until you pull it back off, that note. So you're going to go. And now, while those two notes are ringing, you got to keep these two notes down while you're doing this. Then you're going to play the 12th fret on the G string, and then the 9th fret on the G string, and then you're going to land on the 10th fret on the B string. So it's like. So you got. Now you can bend that note up if you want, like. Let's see. Sorry. So those are just like some basic. I'm just trying to get basic. Like, we don't have a lot of time. I'll make another video and we'll go over this in more detail. But like I said, get the books. They're not that much to download, and they're very good. I mean, I wrote those books for like people that really wanted to understand chord tones, and it's got your arpeggios of the chords. Like there's E minor 7. It's got the arpeggios, it's got everything. So you got the arpeggios book, and then you got the scales book. Those are the two best. And then you got the intervals books if you want to learn the terminology of those speed. Thanks, I'll see you next week.